Hi everyone, it's Dr. Anne-Marie Clark from Spin Again. Thanks for joining me. As I mentioned in our last posting, this week I wanted to talk a little bit more about what we call the ABCs of behavior. And I want to focus today on the A specifically. The ABCs of behavior stand for the following. A is the antecedent, or what comes immediately before the behavior. B is the behavior itself, so the tantrum, the challenging behavior, the aggressive behavior, the running away or elopement from a situation. Those might be some behaviors. And then C is the consequence, or what comes immediately after the behavior. And what I'd like to do today is focus specifically on the A, the antecedent, because that's one of the things that we like to focus on the most as we're attempting to improve a child's behavior and have it be less problematic and more functional or more engaged. The antecedents of behavior, what we understand about a challenging behavior or a behavior that's disruptive for a child, is if we can alter the antecedents, what comes before it, or the consequence, what comes after it, those are the two things that we manipulate in order to try to change the behavior itself. And if we can focus on antecedent interventions a lot of the time, that actually breaks the behavior chain very quickly because it stops the behavior from occurring in the first place. And that's what I wanted to talk about a little bit today. So an antecedent intervention includes what we talked about in the last video, the setting events. You know, what's going on in the broader environment in the child's world. Is he or she sick? Perhaps not feeling well, coming down with a virus? Are they in a loud or a noisy environment and that's distressing to them? Did they perhaps not sleep well last night? Didn't they eat breakfast in the morning? All of those things, those context variables, sit around in the back of the environment and actually do influence the likelihood that a negative or a challenging behavior is going to occur. So whenever we see a negative behavior, we want to start to be thinking about what those setting events might be for that child. The antecedent, or the A in the ABCs of behavior, is basically what happens immediately before that behavior occurs. So for example, a parent is trying to get a child to assist with cleanup in the house, and what happens immediately before a tantrum is the parent asks the child to pick up a toy and put it away, and then the child starts to scream and tantrum. Another example might be a teacher who asks a child to sit and do some sort of tabletop activity or desk activity worksheet in a school environment, and the child runs away from the teacher, runs away from the classroom situation, and tries to get away from the request or the task demand of the teacher. So when we're talking about antecedent interventions, one of the things that a behavior analyst might be asking you is, tell me a little bit about how you asked the child to pick up. Where were you? Where was the child? Tell me a little bit about how you asked the child to do the activity in the classroom. If you're a teacher, were you standing next to them? Were you calling to them from across the room? So essentially we're going to try to break down the different elements of the antecedent and try to understand those and what happened right before the tantrum behavior, in an effort, as I said, to come to an understanding of what we might be able to do to change the behavior itself. So that's what I'm going to ask you to think about this week, and I'd like you to use the link below, again, to continue to send me questions about your children's behavior that you have questions about or that you're having problems with. And then as we continue the discussion of the ABCs of the behavior in future postings, hopefully what I can do is use some of the real examples that the families are sending in to me and continue to discuss the ABCs of behavior as we keep pace with autism.